So in the next section of our lab exercise, you're going to be creating a Spark application with Spark streaming. This section focuses on Spark streams, an easy to build and scalable stream processing library. Streaming jobs are written the same way as Spark batch jobs, and they support Java, Scala, and Python. In this exercise, the taxi data trip will be streamed using a socket connection and then analyzed to provide a summary of the number of passengers by taxi vendors. So we're going to be using a Spark shell with Scala. What I'm doing here is creating a Python streams directory under our home/virt user, and then I'm going to copy in from our lab files directory into our Python streams directory. Okay, so I'm just moving some files around so that we can have everything in one location. The first file that I moved was the NYC taxi 100 CSV, and then we have the taxi streams.python file. The Python file will be the one that actually pushes the CSV file into a socket connection on port 7777. So this will serve as our streaming data set. So we're doing a simulation of the stream. Make sure you edit the Python file, the taxi streams.py, to point to the correct location of your taxi file. Now here I just need to change the location to the virt user. This is where I initially just copy the NYC taxi file. And you can see that the port and the host name, and then we're just going to print each row of the data that we stream out, so you'll see it on the console. Okay, change into that Python streams directory, and then you're going to run this taxi streams Python file. So while it runs here, it's going to wait for the Spark streaming application. So again, when the Spark one starts up, this Python stream will feed in the CSV file. Alright, so open up a new terminal, because this other terminal is where we're going to write the Spark application. Start up the Spark shell. Okay, because this program is going to require you to view the contents on the console, we're going to turn off the logs. So these 4 lines of code will turn the logging off so that no logs will appear in the console. That'll make it a lot easier to see the streaming content that comes out. So when the stream goes through, the Spark application will grab the information basically to find the number of passengers per taxi vendors, and it will print that to this console right here. And now I just imported some libraries for Spark streaming, and just like with Spark SQL, you're going to have to create a streaming context from the given Spark context. So again, I'm going to call this SSC streaming context, and we're passing in the Spark context. And again, we're giving it a interval of 1 second for the batches to come in. This just makes it easier for us to read the stream as it comes through the socket. Now we have to create the socket stream that connects to the local host on socket 7777, port 7777. And so we're using the stream context. So here again, this is the taxi stream that will feed it into that socket that we're going to listen to. Okay, the CSV file is going to be fed in with the data. That's just to simulate our stream again. Now we put in the business logic to split up the lines on each comma and then provide this information to the Spark streaming application so that it can process and analyze the stream. So we define the lines by mapping it and splitting it on the comma, and then pass 15 is the taxi vendor, pass 7 is the passenger count for that vendor, and then we're reducing it by the taxi vendor to get the total count or the number of passengers per taxi, and this will tell us which taxi vendor had the most passengers. We're going to have it print to the console. But wait a second, why didn't it print anything? Well, that's because in the Streams application it won't print anything until you explicitly tell it to print by using the start command. So you have to start the stream. Once that happens, you'll see that the Python stream window and this one is going to both run. So copy and paste both of the lines in the lab exercise guide. Make sure you do that, both of them, and it will automatically start to listen to that socket, and then the Python streams will begin by feeding in that CSV file. So go ahead and copy and paste both lines at once. And immediately you can see the Python stream beginning to feed in the data, and it prints it out. And then on our Scala terminal here, you see the taxi vendor and the number of passengers for that vendor. This is simulating a stream and showing you how Spark streaming can be used to process that stream. And our processing here just creates the analysis for the number of passengers. So you can quit the streams by doing Control-C on each window to stop it, but this demonstrates that you have now successfully created a Spark streaming application.